Well, hello folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Well, this is the P-61 Dynam Black Widow, sent to me by FPV Bills and Tech, Bills RC, or FPV Bills RC up in West Babylon, New York. Now, sent to me, meaning I purchased it. Now, when I say I purchased it, yes, I'm a reviewer. Yes, FPV Bills RC has sent me planes for free in the past. Anthony, the owner, I did not contact him on this one. I did not say I want a discount. I did not email him in any way. I pretended I was just a regular old customer, went online and paid full price, $309, or I think it was $309 for it, because I've had several people, viewers, say, well, you know, it's just normal to not give a complete unbiased opinion when you review planes. That's not so with me. Okay, I paid full price on this on purpose. Now, all I had to do was ask him, and he probably either would have sent it to me for free or give it to me at half price or something, because I'll review the plane for him, and he likes my reviews. But no, I didn't do that. Okay, I wanted specifically, number one, to help him out. Number two, to put that to rest. Okay, I'm not trying to get on a soapbox here, but I'm trying to run an honest RC plane review channel. Most of the planes in here I paid 100% for. There are several, you know, there's what, 130 some odd planes. Out of those 100 of them, I paid full price. The other 30 I either got for free or at a good discount. This is not one of them. My opinion is that I need to give an absolute honest review of these planes in order for you to say, okay, I trust you, I believe in your integrity, now I'm going to go out and buy it. So that way, if I tell you, hey, this is a great plane, here's what's right with it, here's what's wrong with it, it's my experienced opinion, and you can take it to the bank, okay? Because if I can't review these honestly, there goes my integrity, there goes my viewers. Why have the channel? I want to help you, okay? I want to help you give me the honest reviews in my experience with these planes. Now, having said that, okay, yes, I got the props on. No, I have some scars on me from having that happen where the prop. Throttle cut is on, okay, so I'll be careful. Now, so just go ahead and get that out of the way. This is their new, I don't know if this is a version 3. It doesn't say anything about it being a version 3, and it does not have the new controller that Dynam is putting out. However, it is the new foam molds that they're using. The mold is the same, but the foam that they're using, how long their process in which they're producing these planes is greatly changed, and changed for the much. I'm trying to find an older Dynam to give you a comparison that's easy for me to grab. Well, I don't have anything easy to grab, but the older Dynam planes, they had a very dry, almost porous feel to them. Not these new ones, not this one and the version 3s and everything that are coming out. They are, they're solid. I mean, they're the consistency of a free wing model, okay? With this free wing model, I can see the individual cells, but you can't feel them. Same thing here. I can barely see the individual cells, but you can't feel them. It's a hard, very robust, lightweight, and yet strong foam that they're using. They must have changed their process and their formula on their foam, because this foam is the same quality as Freewing, FMS, E-Flight, all the big names, okay? They've gone back to the drawing board, and they're redoing these. Now, on this particular plane, the flaps have, I know I'm jumping all over, pinch hinge with laminate on some of them. The flaps, the outboard flaps, have mechanical hinges. The inboard have pinch hinge, okay? Aileron's pinch hinge. Go figure. There are still some inconsistencies with the Dynam planes, things like that. Why does this hinge here have, why does this one have mechanical hinges and this inboard hinge is just a pinch hinge? Okay, there are little things like that. Their manuals are still a joke. I'm sorry. I love FPV Bills, I love Dynam, but these little pictures these little vague pictures, and this is the outdated one because this still says, well, no, I guess it's not, but it's just still, you know, that doesn't do it. I mean, I get the basic throws and I get the CG and I got where to put the decals, and the rest you kind of have to figure out. Okay, so Dynam needs to come out with better better manuals. I'm sorry, they really do. That's that. Now on this model here, the props turn inward. Okay, so they're inboard, or they're counter rotating inwards. Okay, it's got these big honking tires. There's my honking word again. Okay. I don't know if that's the new generation of the Retracts or not, but I've cycled them in the man cave here probably 30 times, and I have yet to have a single issue. Okay, while I've got the model here, let's go ahead and share you how the flaps work. You got both inboard and outboard flaps. Okay, got ailerons, you got elevator, you got rudders. Okay, plane runs on a, they say a 2200 4S, but there's no way. I got a 4500. The suggested one in the manual is 4000. I got a 4500 4S in there. Now the nice thing about this, battery goes here, receiver goes here. Okay, I had to carve some foam out underneath these gun mounts in order to fit my 7-channel Limit RX stabilized receiver. Now it just has wind gyro, it does not have self-level, but it's got dual diversity antennas that I got at 90 degrees. Okay, that just magnetically seals on there. And here's the 4500. It's a Sokoken with a 55C, I believe. 4500 4S. Okay, CG on the plane is 75 or 70 to 75 millimeters back from the leading edge root, and I've got that perfectly right there. Okay, maybe favoring nose heavy, but that's a warbird, so favoring nose heavy is a good. Okay, don't do that. Now, the plane has one long spar that goes all the way to the end and goes through. Okay, now RC Geek on his build, he had to use his drill to drill it in circular motion to get it to go through. I didn't have to do that. It just slid right through, had a little block of foam that was blocking it over here. I just took my finger, pulled it out, and then it went all the way through. You slide your wings in underneath. There are quick connects now. You don't have bunch of individual wire. You got one uniplug type quick connect. Plug that in. There's a pocket for it. You slide the wings in, put 2 bolts in from the underside, and it's all hidden. Okay, quick connect outer panels. Okay, this section here and this, all the gear is within this section here. So I suggest when you put yours together, go ahead and find your wire, which is the only single white, red, and black wire. Put a servo tester and drop your gear, and that way you can work on your plane. It makes it a lot easier. Okay. Also, the booms on the older editions of this plane, when the boom slid in, okay, you had on one side on this side you've got rudder and aileron hookup, and this side you got rudder hookup, or no, this side's elevator and rudder, and that side's just rudder. Okay, you have these quick, and they're labeled, R and E, they're labeled. Okay, when you slide everything in, you're going to have a small gap because them wires kind of get in the way. What I did was, you have this long block of foam that just keys in like a big piece of puzzle, and it only fits one way. Okay, each boom. Take a knife, be careful with your wires, and cut 1/2 inch of foam all the way around. That gives you plenty of room and still a lot of structure. Hook it up, slide it in, put some glue. I used a combination of hot glue and the provided glue. Slid them in it so overnight, and it's nice and secure. The elevator is the same way. go ahead and make sure you check everything first. Take a servo tester, make sure all your control servos work before you glue that together. Your tail just sandwiches in, your elevator just sandwiches in between the two. Hook up your connection and let that glue, and the pressure of the two halves will actually hold it in place. Now, I did use some hot glue, and I held it with my hand on either side, and that held it in place. Easy peasy. Okay, but that was nothing to do. I mean, it literally just stays in there on its own. Okay, the glue is what I use to put on these guns here, and I use the provided glue to put the guns on. See these guns here? They just have little obvious areas that they just slide into. They're just 4 pieces of carbon fiber straw is all they are. Okay, slide your guns in. I kind of did a sloppy job with my glue, but they just press in. Okay, the water slide decals, and we're going to get back to the box and everything. The water slide decal is a big sheet. You can use the instructions, but it's very hard to see, especially when you're getting older like me. So I found me a picture online and put it up on the screen, and I just followed that picture. What I like to do is cut out your individual decals in a pan of water. Okay, cut them out strategically. Do this section, then this section, then that section. Cutting them out each time. Take that water you got. Take a paper towel and wet that area down, and then just put your finger on the decal and slide the adhesive or the glue page out from underneath it and slide into place. And if you've got that already wet, you can reposition that with your finger, okay, to get everything positioned. And these lines here were the most tedious. I made a few mistakes here and there, but they're the most tedious. The rest of the decals are very simple. Just put a little water on there. Once the decal's been sitting in the water for, say, 20 minutes, or not even that long, maybe 5 minutes, and you can see it's lifting away from the paper, slide it on there, hold it down, just slide that paper in, and let that decal on there. Okay, once you get them all in place, there's only one decal on the underside. It's a star and bar, and it's underneath this one over here. Okay, up on top, and everything else is on the side or on the top as far as the decals. Now, here's a pro tip. To make your decals stick and look like they were factory applied, get a heat gun at a great distance and just kiss the decal. Just don't get right on it. I mean, this takes a while, and you just want to heat that surface up. And what that does, the glue in that decal will activate and adhere to the foam. Okay, don't get close to the heat gun because you'll start getting gatored in. You'll melt your model. Just kind of at a distance about this far away, and then just run it over there. It takes some time. Okay, it's not going to happen quickly. Just take some time, but you'll see it. All of a sudden, it'll start appearing to be dry, and you can almost see the decal flatten out. Okay, and when that happens, you're there. Okay, move on to the next decal set. All right. What else? And that's how I did the Lady of the Dark. I just wet the area, slid it on there, kissed it with a heat gun, and you're done. Take your 2 pilots, you glue them in, put your canopy on. I ran out of glue. I used this Gorilla Glue, clear, ran a little bead underneath, and let the canopy just slide down in there. I did add this piece of tape here because there's not enough material or canopy there for me to put my zip tie mod. Okay, so instead I've just got a piece of tape there. You can't really see it anyways. And like I said, I've got a 7-channel stabilized receiver. When we fly the plane, which hopefully will be very, very soon, hint, hint, very soon, after that, we'll go over all my rates and flying and everything I'm flying in. I just wanted to show you that everything in the box came out like a Dynam. Everything's in cardboard boxes. Well, Anthony will open. Remember, he owns the Dynam planes. I know I jump all over. He owns the Dynam planes. Okay, he opens them all up. Now, I don't believe he tests the electronics. Okay, but I know he looks at each individual piece, and he'll take them out and make sure that everything is in the factory sealed bags. Make sure no dents and dings and problems like that. Make sure the model is complete puts it all back in, but then he wraps each of those individual pieces in bubble wrap on top of what the Dynam already has it wrapped in. You're not going to get that anywhere else, okay? I don't know if E-Flight opening up, their stuff's in styrofoam, but anybody else is going to take things out and make sure that everything's perfectly secure. He'll take his yellow tape that he uses, his packing tape, and he'll make sure nothing moves around. I mean, even the wing spar spread across the entire length to length, corner-wise, which is a huge spar, as big as his wing, he had that taped down so it wouldn't move. Okay? I mean, little things like that. And they put a nice note in there. Hey, I really appreciate me and Jackie say hello. Thank you for your business. And that's what he writes to everybody. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I get things from him, and there's a little personal note that say, hey, thank you from me and Jackie. You know, I guess that's his wife or his girlfriend or whatever. And that's just the kind of guy he is. If you have a problem with the Dynam model or anything you buy from him, take a picture, take a little video, email him, say, hey, Anthony, here's what I got going. I guarantee you, if it's a genuine problem, he's going to take care of you in one way or the other, okay? But this model was packed perfectly. It went together like an E-Flight plane, okay? All the control surfaces appear to be perfectly bench trimmed. I didn't have to adjust any of them. Every one of them are nice and linear and beautiful. Okay, it does not appear to be anything wrong. I didn't have to do anything, and everything moves. I'm not getting that Dynam servo chatter like you always get whenever the Dynam servos, they'll just sit and make noise. I'm not getting that now. Okay, I'm not getting it, and I gotta tell you, I cannot wait to fly this. This thing, I think, is going to be an awesome flying plane. And it went together so easy. Just make sure you cut a little bit of that foam out when you slide your booms in. Let them sit for 3 or 4 hours before you do anything else. And then just let them be, and before you add your elevator. Check your control surface with a servo test, especially on this stuff back here. Because once you glue it in place, you're going to have a dickens of a time checking it. Or if you had to replace a servo. So check them beforehand. Okay. There'll be a description of all the specs in the video at the bottom, the description about all the servos and everything that goes into this plane. But I'll tell you, man, I cannot wait to fly it. It looks great. I don't think I'm going to have any issues. It looks like it's going to just fly great. And the 2200, no, you need at least a 3000. Okay. And I've got my 4500 shoved back down in there. I mean, it's down in there, and it just CGs perfectly. So really, maybe even I mean, you could come forward a little bit. Now, I got room to come forward, but not much. Okay, strong magnets. I think we're in for a real treat. However, now there's another thing I didn't like. Let me show this to you. And this is a miss on Dynam's part. Is they had these cheesy little bombs that are supposed to glue in underneath here. But look at the back end of them. They didn't finish painting them. Okay, there's white paint. So I didn't, and to me they don't look right. They might be scaled, but they don't look right. The drop tanks are perfect, and they have little rails that slide in. But I went ahead and glued them in place, just like I did with the Tucano. I don't think I'll have any issue. This nose cone is not plastic. I wish it was. It would be great if it was. Now, everything is great. Now, here's what I don't like about this plane, and this is more a Dynam issue than necessarily this plane. Okay, this nice of a plane, we'll pay another $25 for the plane if you'll give us suspension gear. Okay, and I'm sorry, you've gone through all the trouble to make this thing look nice and scale, but I mean, yeah, them tires are great for the grass, but that's not scale at all. That's not even near being scale. And if this was suspension gear, okay, then the grass thing you wouldn't have to. You could get away with thinner tires because you have suspension gear. So Dynam, you have got to, with these planes, anything that's got retracts, you have got to start with trailing link or oleo type struts. You've got to start doing that. Okay, everyone else is doing it. There's no reason why you can't either, Dynam. And the other thing, Dynam, come on. These one-page manuals, I would rather you give me a nice manual and not send it to me and leave it online and I'll look at it on the computer while I'm building, then send a piece of paper that really only tells me suggested throws and CG. The rest of it's almost useless. But that's a Dynam issue. That's not this plane, okay? Packed well, went together. You got 2 bolts that hold in the wings, each wing, so 4 total. And that's it. That's the only screws you use, okay? You glue your booms in, you glue in your elevator, you're done. It is a... I wish now I had filmed the build because it went together as easily and quickly as any of my E-Flight stuff or my FMS stuff, but they go together in 10 minutes. So, all right, well, there you go. That's the post-build and post-unboxing video of the Dynam P-61 Black Widow. Hopefully we get a video or a made for you very soon. And God bless each and every one of y'all. God is good, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends. And then big old Dynam night flying planes. Hear the gyro in there? All right, y'all. Bye-bye.